it's all good, everyone. Hello, everyone. This is Liam Catterson here, and we're going to be reacting to My Hero Academia, episode 17 of season 3, which is called Class 1A. So yeah, I'm assuming obviously, since it's not concluded, but this episode will take up the majority of the first examination for the pro hero licenses, and things got off to a really interesting start, especially with Cammy, who seemingly had a bit of interest in Deku, even to the point where she would basically mimic Urareka. So yeah, it was a very interesting first episode, focusing on this whole battle, and I'm assuming the drive is going to deviate away from Deku in this episode to focus on other people, because this last episode was a very Deku-centric episode, not just focusing on him physically, but also his ideals, saving Cammy, even though you could have been a dick about it and just let her injure herself, and that reduces the competition, but that's not who Deku is, so that would be very uncharacteristic. But I do expect the episode, even though this story will be all about Deku, the focus will drive to others, because I want to know how other people are getting on. We saw Todoroki was in a bit of a bind with an entire school, it seems. Maybe not an entire school, but it seemed like several members from a certain school had interest in him, and Todoroki was in a bit of a bind there, so we'll be interested to find out what happens to good old Todorokes. Sounds good, doesn't it? But yeah, but I'm also hoping that we do focus on other people as well, because I would like to see how Bakugo is also getting along as well, and Kirishima, because them two also journeyed off on their own. But it seems like everyone's on their own anyways, considering that Shindo, is that his name? Shindo? I forgot his name all of a sudden. I think it's Shindo. But yeah, you know who I'm talking about anyways. He managed to isolate everyone, makes it a bit easier to pick people off as Class 1A, even though they are putting up a bit more of a fight than expected, are still top priority, and you still want to get rid of them. So yeah, maybe that wind guy, Yorarashi, I think that's his name, but that's how it's spelled. That's how it was spelled. Yeah, you might want to have his assistance, because he was decimating a bunch of people, so I want to see more of him, to be fair. He was just absolutely on it, and yeah, it was a very interesting start to this examination. Already halfway through as well, because we need 100 past, which, if this was a different show, you'd raise your eyebrows and be like, of course you would need 100. You guys know what I'm talking about, especially if you're currently subscribed to me and you know what I'm also releasing. I don't know, because this is the future, because I don't do the future, so yeah. But in the majority of times I've released My Hero Academias, I've also released another show alongside it. But we're what, 51, I think it is, or 52, because the announcer guy was like, "Oh, so we're already halfway through. Wait, make that 51. Wait, make that 52." So there's not a lot of time that Class 1A, because I don't think any of Class 1A has managed to eliminate 2 people yet, but there's not a lot of time that Class 1A can dwell on, and time is really against their side, so they've got to step on it. So maybe we will see a bunch of, considering that this episode is called Class 1A, maybe we will see a bunch of people pass, because whilst their class is not exactly oh, we've got 100 people in this class, so it's going to be a bit of it's going to be tense that we're going to lose a bunch of people, there's still that possibility that not all the students from Class 1A are going to make it through. But we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, this is My Hero Academia, episode 17. Full reaction will be on Patreon as always. So with that said, let's go.
Well then, your pride will be your downfall. You fools.
Just show him up, Todoroki. Ooh, is that sand and water? Those two could make a beach.
Got it.
Come on, Todoroki.
Water for my feet.
Damn, Todoroki. Nice. Gee, good on Todoroki.
To pull such a move, he's crazy.
It seems that our prey has been decided. Please gather the other ladies.
Yes, Miss Sai.
The formula for my success is flawless. What an excellent day for an exam.
Oh god, like, those like calculations and all of that, like can she make calculations? Very sophisticated as well.
Maybe their companions were defeated, and they're running away to hide in here.
No,
Great
that's
optimism.
not what this sounds like. They're not stopping on the other floors. Are there more of them hiding somewhere? Is this a distraction? Or worse?
Oh man, Jiro!
Let's begin phase 2. Shouldn't keep our guests waiting.
I don't like it when they go into phases.
Everyone hide! Attack from
Very
the outside!
scary.
What's their plan?
They're trying to keep me from using my eyes.
What the?
The first thing they did was counteract Jiro. We should assume they're already close by, waiting for the right moment to strike.
In that case, we have to fight! Wait, don't
Jiro, don't!
reach this star!
Oh, Jiro!
Phase 2 is complete, ma'am.
Jiro!
No one likes phases!
They got my amp! In my left ear!
Oh my god.
I knew what she'd do. The temperature is steadily decreasing. This place is turning into a
Damn.
freezer.
No!
What's wrong?
Can't handle the temperature, can she?
All of a sudden, her body's going into hibernation.
Damn, this group is
We need fire.
absolutely
Make a
insane.
lighter and matches.
No, I can't. We'll set the sprinklers off. That's only going to make her even colder. An electric heater or something?
Damn, they've
Our
got their
opponents have control
numbers.
over the air doors over there are the only ones we have left.
We could break through.
No, they'll be
Our
waiting.
opponents are definitely waiting on the other side. It's dangerous.
How did
They want
manage
you.
to
They
update
want
us
you to
so
go out
quickly?
of there.
What
So
are we supposed to
be like,
do?
surprise!
If we stay holed up in this room, we'll have to do something about the cold. Otherwise, we'll be done for.
Exactly.
Yo,
Oh my
Momo,
god, they've got
what
them
if you
cornered.
need
I love
We could
this.
blow the door to the emergency exit. I could make some clay to seal off the vents. It looks like there are 8 of them in the room. That will
Would that
end
be
up
enough?
using a lot of my quirk, but right now, it's all I can do.
Miss
I mean, it might be
Phase
the
3 has been completed.
only option.
Lovely. Now we just give them time.
Yes, ma'am.
Jesus Christ,
The
these
biggest problem
girls
facing
are
these
crazy
UA students
intelligent.
is the frigid air being pumped into the room.
She closes her eyes, her IQ multiplies. It's already 150 to begin with, so after a few sips, she becomes a real genius. By the way, different brands of tea have different effects on her quirk.
Oh god! Why can it not be
Use
coffee?
your quirk, Yaoyorozu.
We can settle that with the coffee and,
It will be
and
the
tea
beginning
debate.
of the end for you and your friends.
He has predicted that we might do that.
Okay, fine, then what do we do? Come on, think. How would
Can't
Todoroki
exactly go
act
through
in a
the
time
window.
Like this? Or Ida, or Midoriya.
Oh, I love how she's inspired by
Still
them.
move at all. Then I can't just sit still. I have to reach out and do something. Cause all I can
Momo
think
has
about
to.
is saving him.
10 minutes since they were trapped in the room. It's probably about
Oh, this is great.
Prepare to take them, ladies.
Yes, ma'am!
You
How
are
utterly delightful.
you
I
are
wonder
falling
what
to
we'll
your
find
doom.
inside. No!
Yes! Go on, Momo!
All right, we rock this.
Nice. Go, Momo. This is why I like
Targets.
Momo.
You got
She
it.
is a
Can you
genius.
move?
Yeah, Ribbit. I'll be okay.
Thank goodness.
Oh shit, no.
You can't fight now, can you? I may not pass, but I'll make sure you don't either.
Oh my god, come on.
Give up now.
Someone save Mo.
Think of all the intensive training we've done at camp and school.
Come on,
Time to show
Momo.
off those results.
You're struggling in vain!
Go on, team!
To save both of them!
It's just like Midoriya said.
Inspired
Class
by
1A is. We look out for each
that
other.
determination of union. I love it. Never give up.
You've defeated me completely. UA doesn't disappoint.
No, they do not. Oh.
Hey, what's going on?
What the f-
What the crap?
What the
Did that really just
fuck?
happen? All I know is that bastard looks like he's to blame.
Shishikuru.
So, I'll kill him.
Go on, Bakugo. What the shit was that?
That means enough people for everyone in our class to pass. Then we'd use our balls only after they couldn't move anymore. Our class has a lot of people who excel in restraining groups, so I kind of thought it wouldn't be any trouble.
I see.
Strategy from
It's
Deku.
true that if we were just doing target practice, they'd only be able to tell whether or not we were good shots. There's more to this test than I originally realized.
Proof of the difference in level between my peers and your vulgar class. We value obligation and dignity, things that appear to be sorely lacking among you.
Ooh, you're just trying to throw that shade.
He's hard to follow. Makes me feel kind of dumb. He said his beady eyes are full of tears so he can't see how strong his opponents are. My eyes are dry and handsome, thank you. Obligation, dignity. You just like to hear yourself talk. I don't see any proof. Show us with your actions, not your cheap words, if you can. Beast, you're worst of all, Bakugo!
Not gonna care. He's not gonna care. Sort him out,
Draw the
Bakugo.
opponents in as close as possible. Make them gather in one place.
It's the opposite, actually. I can't wait to see what they'll do. Even if those two aren't physically with the others, their presence raises the standard for the entire class.
You followed them hard. It's kind of gross.
I'm honored to have them as students. My class 1A.
Oh my god, Aizawa, you're just crushing my heart, for fuck's sake. That's Bakugo and Deku for you, though. Okay, so that was great. That was a really, really great episode, which did play on to my hopes that it would focus on other members of Class 1A, but it had also had a stronger message from Aizawa at the very end. I gotta just love, though, that he's no longer like shying away from the idea that he has so much love for his class. It's there, and he was pretty vocal about it towards the end when he talked about how Bakugo and Deku's like their passion, their determination, it's like a virus to everyone. It's a good virus. Not all viruses are bad. Just because the name sounds ugly doesn't mean that all viruses are bad. It's a really, really good virus, though, for both that both Bakugo and Deku have this drive, this, like, they might be at odds with each other, but they are able to send Class 1A into hope, into that passionate space, and I really, really love it. So it was really, really great, that message at the end, and very heartwarming. My Class 1A. I'm gonna choke. Yeah, it was great, though. I really, really loved I'm gonna call them the sophisticated girls, because they seemed to like, I loved how smooth they were. Like, they planned everything out thanks to Intelli. I think that's her name. Yeah, very on the nose, but yeah. But no, honestly, I absolutely loved how they planned it out with such preciseness, and it also showed other aspects of how they could how they could try to dance around the idea that they would be at a bit of a disadvantage. Well, they tried, and it failed, didn't it? Because the element of surprise kept being a prominent factor, and that's what Momo used to her advantage with. Like, they know that they have. This is the thing, though. They know everyone's got up to the sports festival in terms of information about Class 1A. But the good thing about these sophisticated girls is that they could have Intelli basically run predictive numbers about how that infinite potential, I guess, like how strong they could be, and try to use that for their advantage. Because I think they would have had an idea, okay, well, the sports festival happened a bit ago, and I assume I assume they might have gotten stronger, so we can map out all potential scenarios that we could try, like, just in case they're at this level and they think that they've got us, but we've got them, which they did. Like, they had some really, really interesting phases in terms of trying to turn the tide to their favor. But it was, but they could not predict the bond that they would have with Deku, which I really, really loved. Like, Momo fought back to, well, it was earlier moments of season 3 for both Shoji and Momo, where Shoji rescued Momo because they leave no person behind. And yeah, I really, really loved that. I mean, it might seem like a bit of a weak ending, like the passion, like the power of love or friendship or whatever defeats an intelligent character, but she didn't predict for that. She did not have they were only obsessed about their quirks and their abilities. So you got to take in every factor. So they could not predict how much drive, and that's emotional. That can be, I don't know. I would like to say emotion can fluctuate in terms of like, if you're going to predict something, emotions is one thing that's really, really going to kick you up the arse, because you can't predict how passionate your love will your love, your admiration, etc., will be over time. It's like Bakugo and Deku. You can analyze them too, but you never know that Bakugo could have some respect. Like, he will have potentially some respect for, I mean, he probably does a little bit ish. Let's be like, I'm trying to be honest. I know they're at odds and we can't dispute that, but maybe there's a little bit, probably not as Uraraka and Co, but he can probably have just a little bit guilty pleasure, etc. But like, if you're going to monitor their relationship, you probably think, okay, we can use Bakugo against Deku, but there could come to that point where Bakugo has a lot of admiration for Deku. Like, he could have that in season 5, 6, whatever of My Hero Academia. And emotion fluctuates, so they could not account for that. So whilst it seemed like it was not the ideal way to bring down someone, I think it works, because, like I said, you can't predict emotion, really. You can't predict how a relationship between characters will pan out unless you've been there. Even for the sports festival, like, you could see two characters at odds and all of that. Like, for example, Cammy, who posed as Uraraka, like, that would have kicked her up the arse if, like, because she saw how much of a bond Deku had with Uraraka. That would have kicked her up the arse if, like, say by episode 25, the episode where how did I forget my second favorite character's name? Like, the episode with Tamura, they could have had a big rift between them, and that would have not worked well for Cammy. So yeah, but yeah, I really enjoyed, like, their strategy, because they played they cornered Momo and Co. It was absolutely daunting and sinister to see how the opposition is. Even that guy who managed to compress Kirishima into a pile of, like, flesh, and yeah, I know he's not, it's probably like an illusion or something like that, because you saw bits of organs stick out and all of that, and, like, I don't think that would be great in the real world, would it? So I mean, we know anime can exaggerate a lot of stuff and all of that, but like, if you saw bits of organs, like, if you were in Bakugo shoes, and yeah, it would not look so great, would it? So yeah, he compressed him, and it was, and, like, not fooling Kirish, like, he's actually folded him, but yeah, you get the idea, I think. I don't know. But yeah, it's still sinister to see that what was it? I've forgotten the school all over again. I know the school, but I can't. The Shiketsu person? Yeah, the Shiketsu. He was from Shiketsu, and it was so sinister to see what he could do. And I just love seeing these quirks from people from Shiketsu, like the enthusiastic guy, who I think has a bit of a rife with Todoroki, because he gave him a glare. And I'm wondering if that has something to do with the idea, like maybe his dad or something like that had some heat with Endeavor or something like that, because it's not like Todoroki knows why these two, like why he potentially has beef, because he gave him a really, really bad glare. So I'm wondering if there was something going on with Endeavor, because it would be understandable that Endeavor got involved and did something, because Endeavor, it can be a piece of shit. So whereas Todoroki is more sympathetic. So I'm interested to find out more about why Yorashi, again, sorry if I pronounced it wrong, it's going to be the Ide situation again. In before someone said it, Ide. No, in all seriousness, I'm really interested, because I do think there's something that went on to why he did not go to UA. Maybe he was bribed and somehow. Who knows? It does seem like it. Like, maybe Endeavor saw so much potential in Yorashi, and he was like, yeah, I'm not having any of this, so he might have bribed him to go to a different school. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. He did give him a glare, though, because Todoroki was like, I wonder why I didn't see him in the when they were talking about recommendations, and he gave him like the shitty, well, he wouldn't say shit-eating glare, but he gave him a real like glare of death. So yeah. Speaking of Todoroki, though, bit reckless for him to do that to those ninja guys. Well, then again, I mean, a heavy metal object thrown at a person isn't exactly a plaster material job as well, is it? Like, you could get crushed to death. Whereas with what Todoroki did, he could have crispied them, basically. But it's the things you do to succeed, I guess, for Todoroki, so he had no choice. But it paid off well, because Todoroki is the first, and I think at this point, the only Class 1A member to make it through the first test, so yeah. But yeah, this was really, really great of an episode. Like I said, I loved Intelli's group. Like, what I love about this examination thing with these different schools is how intense they are. Like I said, the guy who managed to compress Kirishima, absolutely sinister. Like, if he was a villain, then that would be absolutely morbid. But like, because I saw bits of organs stick out of Kirishima, and I was like, no. Yeah, forget my illusion comment. I don't know. I'm just thinking like logistically, but yeah, I forget this is anime, so anime can go OTT for all I know. But yeah, it was absolutely morbid. I absolutely do love how intense these characters are, like from different schools. I like the intellect of Intelli. Gotta say though, like, that would pose as a disadvantage for me as a Brit, because, you know, us Brits, well, you know, Brits, they love their tea, so the OP-ness, although it depends on different kinds of tea, doesn't it? Like, they said that the strength of Intelli's IQ determines, it is dependent on what kind of tea. Like, different teas will have different IQ points. So, but still, the Brits would love that. Not me though, because I'm a coffee person. So, that's more fuel to the fire in the whole tea is better than coffee, which I don't agree with. You're wrong. You're all wrong. No, in all seriousness, it is so intense to see how powerful these characters are. Like, we're so used to seeing how powerful people like Bakugo and Todoroki and Deku are, but now we're seeing a new breed of people who are absolutely challenging. and it's absolutely intense, and I really, really love it. Like, the strategy by the sophisticated girls was absolutely great, and I really, really loved how Momo continued to show how great of a leader she is, because I will be happy with a lot more focus with Momo, because Momo is a fascinating character, so I will be happy with any amount of focus on Momo. So I'm glad that we got that in this episode, how she was inspired by what Deku, Todoroki, and Ida had on offer. And it was really, really great stuff to see more Momo in this episode, as well as more Shoji, more Jiro, more Sue. But out of those four, I do like Momo the best. So yeah, it was great seeing more Momo and how she was strategizing everything in terms of trying to outsmart the smartest people she was against. But that's what I'm saying. I love how intense they were. Like, they did not hold back in terms of their intellect. They did manage to get they even contemplated the idea of the odds turning into Momo's favor with them using the Sonic Blast. Although I think that's common sense with Intelli's, like, Intelli sensed there was a Sonic Blast coming, and she hid behind the door, so common sense. But still, it was really, really great stuff to see. And I really enjoyed this episode, so great stuff. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my Media Pizza channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!